So you just graduated from college, now what? Hey folks, this is Kim. Thanks for visiting livemorenow.net. I have a lot of friends with children who recently graduated from college, and the overwhelming feeling for everybody involved seems to be, what are you going to do with your life? So I wanted to share with you a few tips, some of the things I learned along the way. Sometimes I learned them the hard way, and hopefully I can help alleviate some of those pressing issues at hand. Starting with number one, which is probably the most pressing issue for you: get a job. I'm sure that's probably what your parents are pushing for, but you might not know what you want to do yet. So I want to remind you folks that your first real job is not likely to be a dream job. It's probably not going to fulfill any of the fantasies that you had, if any, and that's assuming that you have many choices. I know sometimes it can be difficult to just find a job. But this is not a marriage, folks. So in fact, I would consider it more like casual dating. Now, I have an entire playlist that's devoted to finding a job, whether it's answering interview questions to negotiating a job offer. So definitely please take a look at those. Now, I know it might sound like I'm making light about getting a job, because it is indeed very important to find a job, but it's not important to find a dream job. Just get a job. You might have to do, your first job might not feel like, hey, this isn't what I went to college for. Maybe even consider getting a temporary position. But just working will help you determine what you like and what you don't like. And you'll also be around other people and who might have other ideas for you. If it's a big company, there might be other openings within that organization in different departments, whatever. Again, just get a job and get out there so that you can get some exposure. Number two, make a plan to move out. Some of you might want to save up for a down payment toward ownership, which is a responsible choice that usually takes a little longer to do. But either way, make a plan to move out. I know that can be kind of unnerving because you're probably going to be really broke, but most of your friends are broke. And in hindsight, for me, that's really it was the fun part of my early 20s. You can get creative in what your food choices are, and some of your activities, but it's fun. You can have people over, and it's just freedom. So number three, be prepared for some sadness perhaps, maybe even a little bit of depression. I can remember myself definitely going through that. I felt like, so this is it. This is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. I wasn't with my friends any longer that I lived with at college. So it was confusing. There were a lot of really just strong emotions. And how you deal with that, I really can't advise you. People handle those situations differently. Exercise, meditation, talking to somebody who you trust. My only advice would be that if you feel like your emotions are becoming unmanageable, perhaps seek someone for professional guidance. Number four, don't compare yourself to your friends or other people. Do your friendships a favor and try to avoid discussions about salary. Comparing yourself to your pals, maybe somebody got a job that pays a lot more, pining over that, it just generally leads to no good. So try to stay focused on your own goals and just stay in your lane, so to speak. If somebody asks you how much you're making, try to be vague. If you have a friend who's bragging about how much they're making, just don't engage in that. Just try to kind of walk away from that. Now, number five, to me, applies to everybody, whether you're a recent college grad or not, no matter what your age is, but especially for recent college grads, because I definitely learned this the hard way. Try not to get sucked up into the trappings of buying a fancy car or fancy clothes or toys, whatever that may be for you. If you rack up a bunch of bills trying to appear a certain way to other people, you're really just tying yourself up to those bills and limiting your ability to have experiences, whether that might be taking a trip or going to a concert, whatever. Now, if you're hanging around with people who make you feel like you need that expensive designer purse, then seriously, maybe consider hanging out with different people. Maybe find some new friends. What I have learned is that life is way too short to spend it trying to impress other people. So those are my tips, folks. I hope you find them helpful. The basic message here is try not to take some of these hard, difficult issues too seriously, because you have a lot of time to figure out some of those things. And trust me, what your life actually ends up turning into could be drastically different than anything that you can imagine as of today. So I wish you the best of luck, folks. Thank you so much for visiting livemorenow.net.